Guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you are a subscriber, you guys know that I am incredibly grateful for you. If you are not yet subscribed, go ahead and just press the subscribe button and join our family. We're pretty cool over here. So guys, today we are in the first week of March, and it means that we're in the last month of the first quarter. This is a big deal because remember, for 2021, we are not slipping on our goals. We are not settling for mediocrity. We are going to perform to our fullest potential. We are not slacking off in 2021. I said it and I'll say it again. We are not slacking off in 2021. As a matter of fact, if you slack off, you're no longer allowed to be a part of the Ananovia family. No, I want to make this a journey for everybody. I don't want to just celebrate some people's wins and leave others behind, because I have a mantra for this year. In 2021, no man gets left behind, and I don't mean just man. Obviously, it's a collective word. I mean nobody on our channel is going to get left behind. So the first thing I want to talk about is, because we're in the first week of the last month in the first quarter, we need to be in a position now where we are going through our goals. We are going through what we have accomplished so far. We're doing an audit of our performance thus far. It is extremely important for us to sit down and see where we are, because if you wait until December of this year to figure out, where you went wrong, it's gonna be too late at that point. Do you understand? Too late. Now we're in a position to fix it. We're in a position to make some changes. We're in a position to actually still win. So what I want to talk about today, I want to talk about just setting goals, and being placed in a situation or a position where you can actually achieve these goals. Now, I don't just believe in having goals or dreams and just that's it, we live our life like we're working towards these goals and dreams, when really and truly we're not, if you were to stop and examine it. How I like to live my life, I like strategies, I like systems, I like a feasible way to achieve goals. I don't just like saying I have goals and they're just so far-fetched. No, I need to be working towards my goals every single day. That's one of my secrets. A lot of people look at me, oh my goodness, a lot of people look at me and they said to me, from I was maybe in high school to now, especially in law school, a lot of people used to look at me and be like, how are you so focused? Like, it's kind of creepy. I remember when I was in law school, when I was at Cave Hill, I never used to watch TV any at all. Aside from 1 hour per week, I would treat myself to 1 hour per week, and the 1 hour I would allow myself to watch one episode, and it was Scandal at the time. I'd allow myself to watch one episode of Scandal or Being Mary Jane, or maybe both when one was done, but only 1 hour per week. And I was so disciplined because guess what? I had goals, and they weren't just this fanciful word that we have and this fanciful dream that we have. It was broken down to activities and tasks and that kind of a thing. So every day I'd be working towards my goals, and it wasn't overwhelming or anything. It was just like, a normal routine. It was just like, a regular to-do list, a regular schedule. So today I'm gonna go through this with you. I'm gonna share my strategies with you, so that if you have not done this yet, you're supposed to do this in January, but if you haven't done it yet, that's okay. Right now we're gonna fix it. Right now we're gonna lay down some strategies, and I want you to, as soon as this video is done, listen to me. I don't even want you binge watching my videos. I want you to put down the YouTube, put down the phone, turn off the TV, and go work on your goals. I'm so serious when I tell you that no man gets left behind. And if you slack off, you can't be a part of our Ananovia family anymore. We don't have mediocre people on our team over here. We have people trying, men and women. We have men and women and children with goals that we're actually trying to work towards to make ourselves happier. Okay? All right. I'm gonna just say, so I have my laptop here because I came prepared. I'm not coming to talk about no plate washing and none of that. Today we're getting down to some actual work. I have my laptop here, so if you see me looking down like I am now, it's because I'm looking at my laptop. All right, so the video is going to be broken down into two parts. I'm going to load this video with just useful information. The first part of the video, I'm going to talk about the strategies you can implement to achieve your goals. Yeah. the second part of the video, I'm going to talk about good financial goals to have for this year. So I'm hoping the video won't get too long, but that's what I want to cover for this video. And I'm not doing a part 1, part 2, because the part 1, part 2 thing, no matter how much swear say, I really go to the part 2 just never yet come. So I'm going to do this all in one video. Part A, strategies to achieve your goals. The first thing, and this is going to sound so cliche, but this is something that I tell anybody who comes to me looking for advice. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, if you feel like you're in a job where you're just stuck, if you're in a dead-end job, if you just report to work and you have no satisfaction, no fulfillment, if you're in a toxic work environment, if you're only in your job just because of the monetary consideration, then this tip is for you. This is what I tell people in these situations all the time. And as I said on my Instagram post yesterday, you guys should go follow me on Instagram, by the way. I give you even more financial tips over there on a daily, almost on a daily. So go follow my Instagram. It's Anna the Money Coach. It's Anna the Money Coach on Instagram. But like I said on my Instagram last night, anybody who comes to me in any of these situations, I normally, the first tip I have for them, and I'm usually laughed at until they realize that it actually works, is that you need to figure out what your gifts are. You need to figure out what your talents are. Let me tell you, honey, I am not exaggerating when I tell you that ultimate fulfillment and happiness is tied to your gifts and your talents. Have you ever noticed that you can find two sets of rich people in this world? You can find, oh, the sun is coming out, this is great. You can find the first set of rich people who they are so wealthy, but they're so unhappy. They just, they're the ones who are quick to tell you money can't buy happiness and blah, 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 blah. That's the first set. The second set, this set is made up of rich people who are wicked happy, outrageously happy. They are happy to go to work every morning. They're the ones who still clock in first every day. They clock out. These are the type of people who are billionaires and they still report to work like they have $0 in their bank account. The difference, because I have sat down and I have done lots of observation. I've gone through so many case studies. I like to call them case studies because I feel like if you want to be really wealthy, but not just emptily wealthy, if you want to be healthy and fulfilled, I feel like it's important for you to identify people who have done it before and study their lives. So I have done that. And when I examine the latter set of people, the crux to it is that they are working on something that makes them truly happy. It's tied to their talents. It's tied to their gifts. That's the crux of it all. The former group, they stumble upon an idea and the idea works, so they've gotten like crazy wealthy, but they're just not fulfilled because they're not walking in their purpose. They're not exercising passion. Do you understand? So the first step is to identify your gifts, identify your talents, identify the vision for your life. What do you want for your life? What do you want to achieve? What do you want to achieve? Why are you getting up to go to work? Are you getting up to go to work just to pay JPS and water commission at the end of the month? What is the point of you going to work? Why did you go to school to get this degree in the first place? What were you hoping to achieve? You need to nail down these answers first, and then you'll be able to embark upon actual goals. Now, if you've established the vision that you want for your life and you have established your talents and your gifts, you now need to identify the different goals that will stem from these gifts, from these talents, from the vision for your life. Let me give you an example. If my vision for my life is to have an international multi-billion-dollar financial coaching business, then from that one vision, I would have several goals that I would have to achieve in order to achieve this vision. So that's what I mean by you need to figure out what you want for your life first, and then the goals will appear. For me, for example, I'll share a little bit with you. For me right now, I'm in a position where I want to get my book, The Big Bad Book of Everything. In case you don't know that book, it's written for Jamaican audience. It tells you everything you should have learned in school but didn't. It teaches you about taxes, how to start a business, how to get a car loan. It teaches you how to buy a house. It teaches you everything, and it's very practical. It's like a step one, step two type thing. I want to get this book in front of as many pairs of eyes as I possibly can. I want to get it to at least 50% of the population in Jamaica. Obviously not necessarily just right now, but across a span of time. So naturally, one of my goals now, based on that vision, is I need to get this book in schools. That's the first step. I need to get it in schools. Just to digress a little bit, I'm so passionate about this because when I was a financial advisor at Sagicor, I met with so many people, oh my God, man, so many people who are financially ruined because of decisions that they made in their early 20s. And when I say financially ruined, I mean it's gonna take a whole bunch of discipline and strategy to get them out of their position. And it wouldn't have happened if they understood and knew the things that they should have been taught in schools, which is what you find in the book. So I'm very passionate about this, and I want to get to kids before they get in that position where they're financially ruined. So naturally, well, I just explained to you an example of a goal stemming from the vision that you have. So you need to do the same thing. You need to find out the vision for your life, find out where you want to go, find out what the ultimate plan is, and then you can identify some goals. You can ascertain some goals from this vision that you have. And sometimes your goals may be so big that you need to break them down into things called sub goals, which a sub goal is just a subset of a major goal. So a major goal, maybe, let's use the same book example, getting it in schools. Let's imagine that I just came up with the idea of writing the book and I haven't done anything else yet. The goal may be to get it in schools, but that's a big goal when I haven't even written anything yet, like we're imagining. So a sub goal of that would be to actually write the book. Another sub goal would be to market it on Instagram, that kind of a thing. You know what I mean? So a sub goal is just a breakdown of a major goal. That's all it is. And we go through this in depth in the Money Society. If you want to go further into this, because I'm more of a science girl, I don't like telling people, oh, shank dip round this 2 times, spin around 5 times, and then spit on it for 8 times, and then you're good to go. No, I'm a science person. So if I tell you that something is gonna work, it's mostly because I've done a lot of reading as it relates to the scientific part of it. So I don't just do financial coaching like that. I do financial coaching from a neurological point of view, right? And the same applies to the goal setting. This is something that we cover in the Money Society because I just don't play. You can't come to me tell me that you want to be financially free, but we don't even know what your gifts are, what your goals are. So the very first session we have in the Money Society is to help you with this. So if you want more information, join the Money Society. I have another cohort starting on April 5th, which is next month. Just you get go on the website, anapalomino.com. All the information is there, right? So break down your goals and then break them down into sub goals, and then break down your sub goals into daily tasks. So your to-do list is formed daily from your sub goals. That's how you ensure you work on your goals every single day. And that's where I'm gonna leave that. So we're gonna jump into part 2 now because I don't want this video to get too long. Good financial goals to have for 2021. Now, the first thing I'm gonna say, as I said, I'm looking down, but the first thing I'm gonna say, which if you've been a part of the Ananovia family for a bit of time, you know that me, this girl, I've been through hell and back financially multiple times. You understand? That's why I'm in a position to coach people on it. It's because anything that you're experiencing right now, there's a good chance I've probably been there. And so I know when I tell you what this first goal is, the reason I'm telling you what reason why this is goal number 1 is because I know the power of it from my own experience. The only thing that stopped my cycle, because I was in a cyclical pattern, the only thing that stopped my cycle of rich broke was investing in financial literacy. Investing in financial literacy. You need to invest in financial literacy. You need to be financially literate in order to know what to do with your money, and to know when you come across somebody who don't know about money but purports to know about money. You don't want to be working with those professionals, but you won't know unless you know. You need to know so you know that they know. That kind of a thing. You need to also understand what to do with your money, because sometimes these professionals are expensive and you probably don't need them if you know what you are doing. you need to invest in your financial education, in financial literacy. A good place to start, and you guys know I'm the realist. I'm not just telling you this because I authored it. I'm telling you this because there's literally no book like this in the Caribbean for Jamaica. You need to go ahead and get my book, The Big Bad Book of Everything. It covers. I wish I had a book in front of me to tell you the chapters in the book, but it covers so much, guys. Everything that you need to know to start is in that book. There is a reason why one of the most common reviews, the most frequent reviews I get is that the book is like a financial Bible. Like my customers walk up and down with the book. It's not a read one time and put on type of book. It's a book that guides you through life, you know. So a good place to start is that book, and it's not expensive. It's $3.5. Good place to start with your financial literacy, especially if you want to make some moves in Jamaica. Like you want to make some moves today in Jamaica, the book is good for you. Start there. The second goal that I would say that would be good for financial goal that I would say would be good for 2021. You need to master the art of budgeting. And you need to learn how to stick to a budget. Why is this important? The experts always say that the key to being financially free is you need to pay yourself first every time you get paid. I don't think that's the key to financial freedom. But what do I know? I don't think that's the key to financial freedom, only from my own experiences, as I've told you. The key to financial freedom, I think, is to learn how to make and stick to a budget. This is my logic. If you get paid, using the experts' advice, if you get paid $100, your bills come up to your real bills. I mean, real life. I'm not talking about no theory, because that's the thing with me. I don't like tips that work only in theory, and I believe this pay yourself first thing works only in theory. So let's apply that example. In real life, you have your electricity bill, you have your water bill, you have your internet bill, you have groceries to pay, you have gas to buy, all these things, right? These are obligations that you have to satisfy, or else you're gonna live in darkness. You're gonna live without food, you're gonna starve, which is not practical. So when you get paid your $100, if these expenses come up to $80, you better believe that you are going to be paying $80 out of this $100. Worse, if these expenses come up to $100, you better believe you're gonna use the $100 to satisfy these expenses. You're not gonna talk about pay yourself first, because if you pay yourself first out of the $100, something is gonna get left behind. Are you gonna tell JPS that you can't pay the bill because you're paying yourself first? That's not practical. That's not how it works. So that's why I said that you need to learn how to budget. You need to make a budget and stick to it, because in order to pay yourself first and actually maintain your financial obligations, or not be late on any of your financial obligations, is if you have a plan. You have to have a plan to be able to do all of them and not have to choose. So when you have a proper budget, you can pay yourself, you can pay JPS, you can pay water, you can pay all of these things. And something I need to interject here, this again is something that's covered in depth in the Money Society. In depth, okay? In the Money Society. Something that you need to be aware of is that you need to be practical. Again, I'm so pragmatic. I'm the queen of practicality. When I say you need to be practical, I mean, don't do a budget based on what you want your expenses to be and not what your expenses are actually right now. The reason is that, again, it's life. You're gonna have to pay these things, and when you have to pay these things, automatically the budget is gonna be broken, because it can't maintain the budget just because it's not practical. So what do? You make small changes. Start out small, and over time you get your expenses to where they need to be. So it's important that you know where you should be, but it's also important that you're practical. So anyway, this is a whole thing, but you need to learn how to budget properly, and it's not just getting a piece of paper and writing income, expenses, jot down where your feet. No, it's a whole process. I'm telling you again. I'm gonna introduce you guys to more of this shortly, but there's a whole process, especially if you want it to work. It's a whole psychological process. There are things that you can do that I do, especially with my clients, that work wonders. So I would definitely recommend. I'm gonna do some more of this with you. The second thing that the third financial goal to have is that you need to have an emergency fund. And again, this is not something that you can get automatically. It's something that I would suggest that you put aside some money every month towards your emergency fund. So if your emergency fund, if the total emergency fund needs to be $100, every month you know that you put on $10 out of your paycheck and you service your emergency fund. So the idea, guys, is if you can ensure that you have an emergency fund, a fully stocked emergency fund by the end of 2021. That's a good financial goal to have, right? The fourth goal I'm gonna say is, oh my goodness, guys, try to substantially pay down your debt, or at least develop an early repayment plan for your debt, your high interest debt. High interest debt means that you're paying the bank or an institution a whole bunch of money that you could have been investing. So make a plan to get rid of the debt as soon as you can. Again, to be practical, it's not always a case where you can just go to a bank account, draw out how much you owe at the bank and just go clear off the loan. Then no. If it's a case where you don't have that, you're not in a position to that, just make a plan and get it done. That's it. That's all. That's a goal you should have for 2021 though. At the end of 2021, at least make a dent in the debt that you have. You know what I mean? And my last tip for you guys is, you guys know I'm always singing on this, you need to ensure that you have multiple streams of income. Don't only rely on one source of income. If you only have one source of income, you're only one step away from homelessness. I see this all the time. And a tip I have for you guys too, when you have multiple sources of income, the goal is to not have one source of income carry a lot more weight than the other. So for example, let's say you have two sources of income. One source of income accounts for 80% of your income and the other source of income accounts for 20% of the income. A goal should be that your sources of income contribute equally to your total income. Why? Because if one source of income, if something happens to it and it's the source of income that carries a lot of weight, then you're kind of back to square one, sort of. So the goal is to sort of have them evenly weighted. But this is what I have for you guys. I try to talk as efficiently as I possibly can to cut down the time. I didn't want this to be too long, but guys, I'm so dead ass serious. Like, me never come to play. I did not come to play for 2021. You should see my whiteboard. Like, it's a whole thing. My sister's whiteboard too, or her was it metaphoric? I guess. Whiteboard is like a whole thing too. We are not coming to play for 2021 and we don't want to leave any of our YouTube family behind. So please employ these tips so that we can all become billionaire sisters. I wish I had a wine glass here. Billionaire sisters and brothers, or siblings, or whatever. But yeah, guys, this is what I have for you. I hope you enjoy it, guys. If you enjoy, just like the video, drop a comment. It helps the algorithm to just circulate it on YouTube. We want more people to have this information, so please help me. Like it, comment, share it, subscribe if you haven't, so that you can, and press the notification bell so you know when I post that video again. All right, guys, have a good day or night or whenever you see this. Bye.